there's always a percentage of people that are going to complain about price. It's a numbers game. The bigger your list, the more chance you have of making money. Write this down in big letters. The money is in the list. Right? Back to Claude Hopkins, data. Back then, you had to buy data in. You had to find, we still do now for direct marketing. You have to buy data, and then you have to hope that that data has been profiled well enough for your message to hit that person at the time they're wanting to buy the product or service that you're offering. It's a bit like newspaper advertising. Newspaper advertising is dying because of Google. Why? Because if you put an advert into a newspaper, it's crazy. I mean, you're hoping that your advert for tights is going to fall upon the lap of somebody right at the very moment they're thinking about buying tights. It just doesn't happen. Well, it happens at such a small percentage. But the crazy thing about that kind of advertising is that people don't measure it. They get the market, no offense to universities, but most of the marketing graduates that I've met have no idea about direct marketing, and it drives me mad. I employed somebody last year. He's got a degree in marketing. He came to the business. He had no idea what I was doing. He didn't get it. He says, well, we need a budget. We need to build the brand. Well, yeah, if you've got loads of money and no brains. You mean it's crazy? So on this site, I'm giving them free stuff, and then I've got them an autoresponder. Not only that, I can send broadcasts out. You know, I can say, here's a great new cookery product. Click here. It's an affiliate link. Or I might go and manufacture a product and then sell it to them, the greatest whizzer in the world. You know, I like cooking. That's why I said whizzer. I'm a real pro, as you can tell. I'll close that down and go back to the PowerPoint, please, Louise. I said I go on tangents. Just bear with me and pull me back if I'm, you know, weaving in and out. So it searches pages, not websites. And this is a fundamental thing that most people just don't understand. But if you go on in the presentation, this is a contentious thing. The home page is dead. Now, you go to most people, there's a kind of a convention already, isn't there? There's a convention to what a website should look like. Now, most companies, most companies will make websites that are basically online brochures. Put your hand up if you've ever read a company brochure from start to finish. Nobody. Why? Because they're boring, aren't they? They're boring. It's like, we've been established since 2006. We are brilliant at this, that, and the other. It's all about them. It's all about them. It's an ego trip. It's not about you. And this is a big, big thing with web pages. I'm going on a tangent again, but you've got to think about what's in it for the person coming to the page. Give them a very strong message. Skip hire made easy. Wow, skip hire, that's what I'm looking for. Easy, great, I'm in. You've got them. Then you can start selling to them, okay? If we went on and said, we've been established since 2003, we do this, that, and the other, aren't we brilliant? It's like, oh, shut up. No, nobody's interested. And the reason I say the homepage is dead, and this relates to SEO, if you could pop onto Google again, please, Louise. Most websites have a thing at the top, don't they? They say home. Yeah? You click to go to the home page. Because most people design websites with the idea that there should be an entrance, and then they lead you through to places. And let me tell you, every time you're asking somebody to come to a web page and then click to go somewhere else, you are reducing your opportunities to sell massively. Massively. And most people go to most websites. I go to websites, and there's no phone number, there's no form. There's a thing over in the corner that says contact us. I have to click to that. I'm like, yeah, life's too short. What else should you go online for? Oh yeah, let's type in the word home. Before you click return, how many search results do you think there will be for the word home? Let's have a look. 5.8 billion? Yeah? What's number one? BBC. BBC homepage. Home.co.uk. There's so many pages because by putting the word home on a page and making that word a link, and most sites make it a link, a HTML hypertext markup language link to the home page, they are effectively optimizing that page for the word home. Now, unless you sell houses, you don't want to be doing that, do you? So could you just pop on, do another one actually, type in click here. This is another one. Click here. Have a guess who's number one? Adobe. Look at those, 1.3 billion results. Why is Adobe number one? Because Adobe's got millions of documents all published on the internet with the words click here, because everybody puts click here in little blue writing. So they're effectively optimizing those documents for the word click here. Could you go to TopScripts, please? Do you see the word home on there? It's not there. It's there, but it's not a link. It's not a link, yeah? That's a strategy thing, because people are used to being on a home page, but it's not actually a link. That's the link, and that's the link, and these are the links. Now, these links are all related to keywords that people actually type in. So it's all about what keywords people type in. So this is the home page of TopScripts. I'll come back to this later, because there's a lot of conversion stuff on here I'd like to teach you about today, but we're going to stick on SEO. So if you go back into Google, please, Louise, and type in skip hire Manchester. That's your local business search results. But here, you see in the #1 position in the natural listings. If you just click on that, please, Louise. No, there. That's it. Subtle differences. See the title up there? Is it optimized for skip hire in Manchester? Yes, that's why it's #1. Similar page to the general home page, but it's actually optimized for somebody who's looking for skip hire in Manchester, not skip hire nationally. So it's more relevant. So it gets a higher conversion rate. That page is optimized for those particular keywords, skip hire in Manchester. And we do that across the board with every region in the UK. Not only that, but for other terms, skip hire prices, skip hire sizes, what can I put in a skip, etc. Back to the presentation, please, Lou. So the homepage is dead. I always think of Morrissey when I say that for some reason. Is it because the Queen is dead? It probably is. Next one. Yeah, so we've mentioned Google. Why Google? We'll click on to the next one. Because it is the dominant player in the marketplace. If you look after Google, you basically are looking after all the other search engines, like MSN and Yahoo. Next, please. As my granddad used to say, if you butter the bread on the outside, the inside will look after itself. And that is, you know, it's the 80-20 rule. Put most of your effort into the thing that generates most of the money. Okay? Now, has anybody not heard the terms on-page SEO and off-page SEO? Hands in the air. Okay, good, good. So, 10% of search engine optimization is actually all about what's on the page, okay? 90% of it is about what's not on the page. I'll show you what I mean. Anybody not familiar with HTML source code on web pages? Okay, that's good. Well, I want to make sure, is it making sense? Is it clear? Good. So, could you pop it back onto Google for us, please, Louise? And actually, go skip hire. Yeah, do skip hire and go to TopScripts. This is a rough diagram. Every page has these elements on it, okay? Firstly, it's the URL. Now, the URL is the, yeah, you with that? You all know what a URL is, okay? So the URL is topskips.com. Now, if I was to go back in time, what I should have called it is topskiphire.co.uk, because I should have been optimizing the URL for the keyword that people are searching in, but I called it TopSkips because I was all about branding, okay? Also, a .com is harder to get to the top of Google in the UK than a .co.uk, because it's not a UK domain. It's an American one. So I didn't know this back then, so it took me a little bit longer and a lot harder, more work to get to the top. Now, the next bit is the title. Possibly the most important part of your on-page search engine optimization is that bit there. Skip hire from TopSkips, National Skip Hire UK. The title. Google's looking, you know, if you have a document, all a web page is a document, really. Think of it as a piece of paper, a document that you've written. The title is very important, isn't it? Hugh showed that earlier, how to make money. The title is important. Google thinks the title is very important. So does it make sense to have the keyword in the title of your page? Absolutely, it's common sense, isn't it? Now, if you just, could you just open up Google for me, please? The next bit is the meta description. Anyone not know what the meta description is? Okay, you can keep your hand down, I know it's going to go up and down. Meta description is kind of hidden you can't see it as a viewer of the homepage, of the page, but Google sees it, and Google reads it, and Google places a lot of emphasis on the meta description. So if you type in skip hire again, I'll just stick with skip hire because it's easier. There's a lot of other sites I could show you. This bit here is the meta description. Yeah? Now what do you notice about this one, and this one, and this one? In fact, that's going to give it away, isn't it? Your meta description should have the keywords in it, okay? And there's a kind of percentage rule. Now, there's no hard and fast rules with this. What we would actually do is go and search the competition, see who's at number 1 for the key phrase, work out, reverse engineer how many links they've got, and what the ratio of keywords to text is in their title, their meta description, and everything else, reverse engineer it, and then do the same for your own site. Because if you're doing the same as them, you're going to be doing the right things to get to the top. And then you've got to go and beat them, okay? So, well, one thing that I put into meta descriptions that very few people that I've seen also put in, that is a marketing opportunity. So when I put a call to action in this case, click here. In this case, call this number. You know? Use every time you've got an opportunity to market to people or to get people to take the action that you desire, use it. So that's the meta description. If you go back to top skits, please, Louise. And then up here on view, and then down to page source. You can do this on any website. If you just open it up for us so it's a bit bigger. You see here, there's the meta description. Click here for the best skip hire service. The meta keywords are there. Skip hire, skip hire, top skip hire London, etc. Now Google doesn't actually place much emphasis on meta keywords anymore, but Yahoo and MSN do. So you want to get them in there, but don't put too many in. You only put about 20 or 30 maximum. Back in the old days, well, in internet marketing, the old days is last week, but back in the old days, people could throw in thousands of keywords in there and get to the top. That's why Google delisted it delisted its importance, if you like. The next bit, if you go close that down and go to top skips again, please, Louise, is H1s, H2s, H3s. All that means is header 1, header 2, header 3. If you're producing a document, you're going to put subheadings in, aren't you? The subheadings are important. Google thinks they're important, okay? So in the case of this one, the H1 is skip hire made easy. It's doing two things. I mentioned it earlier. It's optimized for the keyword skip hire, but it's conversion rate optimized as well. It's saying it's made easy. If you come to this site, this should be an easy experience. That's a good thing, because actually your biggest problem when anybody comes to your page is trust. Trust and hassle. People want an easy life. You know, makes sense. I put here LSI. Just go down the page a bit, please, Louise. A bit further. This is the body text of a page. Content is king on Google, okay? Google is looking for keywords in your body text. See? Notice they're bold as well. If you bold your keywords on your pages, Google will say, well, this guy thinks that that's an important keyword, therefore we must think it's an important keyword, therefore we're going to add more weight to this page. And what LSI stands for is latent semantic indexing. It means you do your keyword research, find all the stuff that's sort of related to the page that you're writing, and then sprinkle it in, like salt and pepper, throughout the body copy. And when I first launched this site, the keyword skip hire was hardly on it. I was going on about myself. You know, it wasn't really there. But you can have a real jump start. This is very powerful stuff, by the way. It sounds very deceptively simple, but it's very, very powerful. It will have a massive impact on any site that you ever build. PowerPoint, please, Louise. Now, 90% of SEO is off the page. What does that mean? It's back to the idea of links, okay? Links back to your site. There are lots of different ways of doing links. There are reciprocal links where you swap links with somebody. There are links where you link to somebody else. There are three-way links where you link to one person, they link to that one, they link to that one. The most powerful links online are links from other pages, as I said earlier about the thermodynamics, coming back to your site. But so you've got these pages all over the web, and they're all linking to you with words, okay? Those words are effectively, back to the home example, those words are what you are optimizing your page for. So if these links do not contain your keywords, you're not optimizing your page for that keyword. Now, if you have lots of links with your keywords in these pages, linking back to that, Google's going to say, well, this page has loads of links for this keyword. It must be important for that keyword. Whoosh, up it goes. Okay? So how do you get those links? There's lots of different ways. You can buy them. You can use social media. You can create your own links, but that's an advanced strategy. I haven't got time to go into that today. But you can get these links. But this is the most critical part of search engine optimization. But, and there's a health warning on this, you can't just go out and get 20,000 links in February when in January you didn't have any, because that looks unnatural to Google. So Google's going to go, that's unnatural, we don't like it, delist that site, put it in the sandbox. What Google needs to see, it needs to see something natural. If you think about a web page that's of interest, it's like anything else in life. It's going to gather interest over time, isn't it? And that's what Google's looking for, natural kind of stuff. And you can play with this. I mean, there's a couple of terms that you should be familiar with. One is white hat search SEO, and the other is black hat SEO, and there's grey hat SEO. Black hat SEO is what the internet marketing world is the term they use for cheating the system, gaming the system. You can game Google, but ultimately you won't win. You'll be delisted and you're gone. White hat is all about doing it in the way that Google wants it. And why would you want to do it any other way if you want long-term success online? So the only stuff we talk about and the only stuff we do is white hat SEO. So these keywords links are called, see, I didn't do art at university, is anchor text. The anchor text coming from those sites to your site is utterly critical. Okay? Everybody with me? Yeah, actually, I'll fill out a little bit more on this. I talked to you about the fact that PR, the little PR that hopefully you're all going to go and install and be able to see from here on in, the PR here is a massive factor in terms of how important Google sees that page for that keyword. But another factor is the text around this anchor text relevant to what's on this page? Not only that, how old is this domain? This is all common sense if you think about it. If you've got a brand new site over here with a page rank of 0, and this is about cars, but there's a link about tights, and this is a page about tights, Google's going to say, well, that's not relevant, is it? That's somebody just putting in a link from a site that has nothing to do with this. I'll give you an example. Could you go back onto Google, please? Well, top skips, actually. No, Google. I've got a client who sells gel-filled bras, or chicken fillets, I think they're called. Somebody knows what they are. I didn't until I met him. If you type in double gel bras, please. Let's go down the page a little bit. MaxCleavage.com, that's the name of his business. You can see his advertising at the top there. It actually really helps. There's a lot of women that really get a lot of help out of this site, and it's a husband and wife team, and they take it very seriously. They make a lot of money, actually. So he's number 1 at the adverts there. And he came, oh wow, it's number 1. He came to see me, so I've not seen this for a couple of weeks. He came to see me a few weeks ago, and I said, what keywords do you want to rank for? He said, double gel bras, I want to be number 1 for double gel bras. He was number 8. This was 2 weeks ago. So there he is at number 1 and number 2. Fig Leaves, the big competitor with all the money, you've probably heard of Fig Leaves, it's a much bigger business, is now number 3. How do we do it? Go down the page a little bit, please. This is all live data, you know, I've not fixed any of this. What's that? Double gel bras and a skip from the Skip Hire blog from topskips.com. Now click on that link, please, Louise. Now what's going on there? We have a blog on TopSkips. It has page rank, it has weight. I did this entry, double gel bra and a skip, and I wrote something that related to Skip Hire and to double gel bras. And just there, you'll see, could you just hover over that link for me, please, Louise? It goes to Max Cleavage's double gel bra page. So, it's relevant content, because it's like, okay, it's a bit naughty. I made something up about double gel bras, tried to relate it to Skip Hire, but I did it to prove a point. And the point is, there's your anchor text, that's his keyword, going to his page about that keyword. Within 2 weeks, he's gone from number 8 to number 1 and number 2. And not only that, but the Skip Higher blog is on page 1. I should get into double gel bras. It's so powerful. When I did this blog entry, which took 3 minutes to actually do, the web page, because every time you do a blog entry, you're actually creating a web page. You see at the top, the title, yeah? That is a web page optimized for the keyword double gel bras. When I did that, it was actually indexed by Google. This blog entry was on page 2 of Google within 15 minutes of putting it up. That's powerful stuff, search engine optimization. That's a classic example of taking a long tail keyword and doing all the things I've just said. Hopefully that's proved that point to you. Yeah? Back to the slideshow, please, Lou. What's next? On-page SEO, we've covered that. Keyword research. Actually, this should say, you have to click it 3 times to get to it. Keyword research is the most critical thing. It's the total game changer. For the first time in history, we are able to read the minds of the market, because there are keyword research tools out there that you can use. Has anyone used Google, the Google keyword research tool? Yeah? It's free. They're giving it to you. You know, you couldn't get this a year ago. It's free. You go to Google, type in Google keyword research tool, and you can literally, do you want to have I don't know if we've got time actually, but you can go and find out, put in a keyword, and Google will tell you every other keyword that relates to that keyword, semantically and laterally and thesaurically. You can get every other keyword. From that, not only that, it'll tell you what the traffic is. So you know how many people are typing in the keywords, what other keywords relate to it, because most people sit there and go, what? Yeah, do you want to go to Google? Type in Google keyword tool. So for the first time in history, we can actually put together a marketing plan that has no risk attached to it. Because you can say, okay, these are the keywords, this is the traffic, I know that I can get 10% of that traffic, I know that I can convert 3% of those visitors, I know how much profit I'm going to make from those visitors, so I've got this much profit, how much is it going to cost me to get that traffic and put this together? For the first time in history, you have a totally risk-free marketing plan for your business. It's amazing. Just type in, who's got a business here online? Anybody? Nobody? Anybody thinking of doing one? Sorry? Yes, sir. What is it?
Renting apartments in Spain.
Type that in, please, Louise. Have you ever used this tool? No. Okay. Renting apartments in Spain. You've got to do the... Yeah, thank you. Great. She's ahead. Here we go. Yeah, stop there. Okay, so apartments for rent, you don't want to optimize for that because you're very specifically about Spain. But it's good that it's telling you there's all that traffic there. This green thing means that the advertiser market online is completely saturated. It's 100% full. The opportunities are there, but it's going to be expensive. Renting apartments in Spain, not enough data. There's 110 clicks or searches for that a month on Google in the UK. Rental apartments in Spain, 260. Rent apartment in Spain, not a massive market. Very small, but that might be a good thing because there won't be much competition, which means that you could probably optimize for that quite easily. But you can see here that it's telling you how many searches, what the advertiser competition is. Now, all of these keywords are good because when it comes to pay-per-click, and this is another critical thing, you can take all of those keywords that don't relate to your business and put them in because Google's telling you that if you optimize a page for renting apartments in Spain, it will show your advert if you're advertising for all these other keywords as well if you have it under what they call broad match and phrase match. You can tell Google pay-per-click, these are negative keywords, do not show my advert for this, which increases your click-through rate, decreases your cost per acquisition, increases your profits. So we're going to wrap up for a 5-minute, is that okay? Group keywords. I'll go to the next one. When you do keyword research, you're going to find loads of keywords that relate to what you're selling. It might be, let's take Skip High Manchester. It might be Skip High Manchester, that's the tier 1 keyword for that group. But then it might be, I live in Manchester, I need a skip. How much is a skip in Manchester? Didsbury skip hire. You know, all of these keywords become part of a group, a theme, okay? And you really want to build pages around these themes, and that's where the LSI comes into it. On your title, URL, etc. at the top, you want your main keyword, but in the text, the copy, and the page, you want to be putting in the longer tail keywords, like Skip I Didsbury, because it relates to Manchester, and Google knows this. This is a silo structure. When I'm talking about site structures, what we're trying to achieve is give the Google Spider, it comes in at the top left of the web page, it reads the title, the URL, the meta description, and then it goes all the way through, and then it leaves out at the bottom. Okay? If there are any links on that page going elsewhere, the Spider will follow those links and then come back. Follow those links and then come back. Now, if it's doing this, you can imagine all the web pages in the world, that's taking up a monstrous amount of processing power, isn't it? Now, what we try to do with a silo structure, if you just click through it and build it while I'm talking, what we do with a silo structure, and we've tested this on a number of sites and it's working really well, is basically we're taking, this is a fence hire silo, we're taking fencing hire, hoardings, barriers as our kind of silo headers, and then underneath we've got temporary fencing, picket fencing, safety fencing, security fencing, event fencing. So these are grouped pages. We've taken the keywords into groups and created pages beneath the silo header. And what we're doing is we're telling Google, go in via this link to this page, which is thematically linked. Da-dum. It goes into the page, and then all the other links on those pages have a little thing, a little attribute